You know that hollow thud in your chest when a message sits there, marked seen, for hours, then days? You stare at the screen, your thumb hovering over the keyboard, crafting excuses for them. Maybe they're in a meeting. Maybe their phone died. Maybe they are just overwhelmed, needing space to breathe. You tell yourself these comforting lies because the alternative is a jagged pill you are not ready to swallow. You treat their silence like a technical glitch, a momentary lapse in communication, hoping that if you wait long enough, the notification will ping and everything will return to normal. You convince yourself that they are simply busy, that their world is a chaotic whirlwind of responsibilities, and that you are just a small, patient satellite orbiting their life. But here is the truth that sticks in your throat like broken glass. The silence is not a byproduct of their busyness. It is a calculated response. People make time for what they value, and they make room for who matters. When someone sees your message and chooses not to reply, they have already spoken volumes without saying a single word. They have decided that the effort required to engage with you is a cost they are no longer willing to pay. Stop dressing up their indifference as being busy. It is a flattering mask you have painted onto an ugly face. We live in an era where the phone is an extension of the human hand. It is glued to our palms, lighting up our faces in the dark, vibrating in our pockets at every digital tremor. To believe someone is truly too busy to send a quick line is to be willfully blind. If the president of the country can find a moment to tweet, if a surgeon can text between operations, if a single mother juggling 3 jobs can send a heart emoji, then your friend or partner certainly has the 3 seconds it takes to acknowledge your existence. They aren't busy. They are just done. They have finished their chapter with you, and they are waiting for you to realize that you are still reading the book while they have already closed it and put it on a shelf. The tragedy isn't that they are ignoring you. The tragedy is your insistence on holding a conversation with a person who has already walked out of the room. You keep refreshing the chat, looking for a sign, looking for a miracle, looking for an apology that will never come. You are effectively begging for crumbs of attention from someone who has already finished their meal. The psychological game we play with ourselves is exhausting. We analyze the time elapsed, we check if they are online, we wonder if we said the wrong thing, or if our last message was too clingy, too boring, or too heavy. We start performing autopsies on our own digital interactions, looking for the fatal wound. Was it the joke that didn't land? Was it the fact that I shared too much? This internal interrogation is a trap. It shifts the burden of their behavior onto your shoulders. You start thinking that if you were different, if you were funnier, more successful, or more mysterious, they would have replied. But that is narcissism masked as insecurity. You think you are the center of their neglect, when in reality, you have simply ceased to be a priority. It is not that you did something wrong, it is that their interests have shifted, their circles have widened, and your presence in their life has become optional. And in their calculus, optional things are the first to be discarded when the day gets long. Let's be honest about the mechanics of modern abandonment. When you see seen, you feel a frantic urge to fill the silence. You want to send another message, a funny meme, a question, an update, anything to bridge the gap. That is the moment you lose. Every follow-up message you send when you haven't received a reply is another nail in the coffin of your own dignity. It signals that you are desperate to remain in their periphery. It tells them that they don't have to respect you, because you don't even respect your own boundaries enough to walk away. You are rewarding their silence with your availability. You are telling them, I will sit here and wait for you, regardless of how you treat me. Why would they reply when they know you'll be there, hovering like a ghost, waiting for the crumbs to fall? They don't have to work for your attention because you are giving it away for free. By staying in the waiting room of their inbox, you are stripping yourself of the power to leave. You are making your self-worth dependent on an algorithm that informs you when someone has acknowledged you. The pain you feel isn't about the message itself, it is about the sudden erasure of your relevance. It is the realization that someone you considered a part of your daily routine has demoted you to an afterthought, or worse, a ghost. It hurts because you are grieving a version of the relationship that exists only in your head. You are mourning the intimacy you thought you had, which they clearly never valued at the same level. This realization is bitter, but it is necessary. You need to stop looking at that seen status as an open door and start seeing it for what it is, a closed gate. When someone stops replying, they are effectively resigning from the position they held in your life. Don't beg them to stay. Don't ask them why. Don't send the long, emotional paragraphs detailing your hurt. They don't want to hear it, and frankly, it won't change the outcome. Their lack of response is the answer to every question you have. It is the end of the argument. It is the final period at the end of a sentence. Accept that their silence is not a mistake, it is a choice. And when someone chooses to live without you, the most powerful thing you can do is let them. Walking away doesn't mean you stop feeling hurt. It just means you stop letting the hurt dictate your actions. You reclaim your time, your focus, and your energy. You stop checking the screen. You stop waiting for the chime that signifies validation. You turn your gaze inward and realize that your value was never tied to their reply. Their silence is a reflection of their capacity, not your worth. It is a mirror held up to them, showing their inability to be honest, their cowardice in avoiding a difficult conversation, and their lack of empathy. That is not something you want in your life anyway. You want people who show up, who communicate, who find the time, and who make it clear that you are someone they cannot afford to ignore. If someone treats you like you are replaceable, let them. Don't fight for a place in their life. Build your own. The moment you stop caring about the scene's status is the moment you regain your freedom. It is the moment you stop being a beggar for affection and start being the architect of your own peace. You were waiting for an answer. They were waiting for you to disappear.